I was lucky enough to get this new golf cart battery from Wattcycle. It's a steel case battery, 51.2 volts and 105 amp hours. And boy, I tell you, stick with me and I'll show you exactly what it looks like inside and out and how good it works. So Wattcycle did send this to me for a review. I just want to put that out there front, but it doesn't change my mind about it. And you will see this has a grade UL 94V0 fireproof housing, which is really a nice thing to have on a golf cart. And the build quality of it is excellent. The app works really great. Plus, you don't need, it also has cold weather protection, but you don't really need the app to use it either. It does come with a nice display. And there's all the specs on it, 5376 watt hours, and there's a monitor that it does come with to install on your golf cart. So let's start by opening it up. It arrived, as always, packed well and in good shape. Just made a trip from California to the East Coast, so you can see they do a good job at packaging. All the accessories are included in this. Comes with some covers and stuff. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start up the app and show you that it arrived at 36% charge. Now I already started this up once before, but you have to power the battery on, I found, and it looks like it's fairly well balanced. Looking at the side of it, you have an on-off switch or a no-off switch. And then you have a vent and you have some communications ports that I'm not sure about. So as always, you fully charged battery before using it, and I'm just using the standard 51 volt battery charger that I have. And if you look at the time to charge on the app, don't believe it, it's getting 9.9 amps now, so that time is like times 10. But I'm charging it on solar from that other cart that I built, so this is 100% solar charging it right now. And let's just plug in this gauge and show you what that looks like. So there it is. The video makes it flicker. It's not like that really. It's, solid, but it's a real nice indicator gauge that comes with it. Now let's pop it open and look inside. This is the first one I've opened up because it looks like it's easy to do. So a bunch of screws around the outside there. Everything's sealed too. There's also a nice seal in there. And then the top picks off. Boy, is this thing serviceable. Everything quality looks good. All nice steel brackets and framework within the steel frame of the battery. Guess that's why it weighs 100 pounds. All the BMS leads are all they're screwed on and sealed. There's caps on everything, bus bars, copper bus bars with brass screws mounting to the terminals there. You can see this really does look like a high quality build. If you look at it, everything's done right. Wires are all tight. They're wrapped in and no real problems that I see. And again, there's no wires in here. It's all bus bars that are bent to shape. I can't get a reading on the cell code with my phone, or the camera, but it's they're supposed to be grade A cells that are good for up to 10,000 uses, I think. So they put nice caps on everything so protect them from hitting the case should anything ever get hurt, bent, or anything. And there's a nice, gap around the outside for air. BMS, I don't know what it is, but it's probably a Wattcycle BMS. There's a vent on there should the cells ever decide to let go and vent. So this actually is a really nice package. It's going to be safe to use in a golf cart. It's ruggedized, it looks like. It's so much better than that plastic one that I had. And again, just, this is what it looks like. Really nice welds on all the buses between there. And just, they did do a really nice job on this. So I just wanted to show you that. First time I've opened one of these up, I've always been afraid to, but this one was super easy, no leads. And it would be really easy if you had to replace a cell or anything. Or a BMS went bad or something. So it is, not something you have to cut open if you have a problem later. And with this steel case, should anything ever, get hot in the battery or anything else, you're not sitting on a fire hazard. You're pretty much protected while you're sitting on top of this thing. So here's my wife's golf cart, and if you remember back, I did convert it over to solar last year. I put 2 little panels up there, and they've worked good. And there is one of the plastic 48 volt 100 amp hour batteries in place, and that's kind of just strapped in there and stuffed with styrofoam and stuff like that to hold it in place. So it's not really safe if you flipped it. Plus, I have one of these boost controllers for the solar to get the voltage up to the battery requirements. So first thing I'm going to do is shut the old battery off, and that's the reason why I like this new battery. My wife would not carry an app, and if that battery got shut off for some reason, she couldn't use the cart, and no way to turn it back on. Where this new one, basically just push a button and go. You're in good shape. So that's one good reason for these metal case batteries with power buttons. So I'm just going to, now that that's all shut down, I'm just going to take and remove the existing wiring that goes to the golf cart controller. I also turned the switch off on the golf cart controller before I started. And pick this battery out. Now this one's about a little over 80 pounds, and the new one's right around 100 pounds, so there is quite a bit of difference in the weight of them. I've had a bad back for the last couple of weeks, so this is way past my limit, but I'm able to get them in and out. That's what they look like side by side. The standard plastic case ones look like that, and these are really excellent for power storage. These are the next best thing to server rack batteries. And then there's a new one in the steel case, a little bit different size. And I did have to cut that one piece out when I switched it over originally. And for this, I had to make a little spacer out of some plywood and a couple pieces of board just to get it over that little ridge there to be able to get the new battery in because it's wider. So I put a screw down into the plastic cart body there to hold that temporarily. And I'm gonna set this one in, and boy, this one is heavy, and it's close fit, real tight. A little rocky there, but I'm gonna put some bolts right down through it to the right through the plastic of the golf cart. So should it ever flip over or anything, it's stuck in place. Right now, I've just got a couple wood screws in there holding it. I still have to pick up some bolts, but it fit perfectly. You see, I now have access to that switch to turn the controller on and off, and let's see if the wiring fits. Now, these are the existing wires that were in the golf cart. The plus and minus basically are the only ones that were there, and then I added the charge controller one. So the negative one is no problem. I probably should have done the positive one first, but I figured with the battery turned off, it doesn't really matter. And I've got the controller turned off too, so there's no sparking or anything like that. And you can see just how hot it is today. It's really hot and it's humid. In about 15 minutes, I was totally soaking wet after I started this project. Just unbelievable how brutal it is out there today. My t-shirt weighs about 100 pounds right now from water. Then the positive, problem with this wire I made for the solar controller. The other battery used to be a lot longer, so off to make a new wire a little bit longer. Just had to, crimp a couple ends on a piece of 10 gauge that I did have. And then that'll bolt right in place here. I really do like having the terminals on the side of this battery also, and they're bolted onto a metal case, so you're never going to turn them or strip them out or anything. Really nice. And Wattcycle does give you 2 different length bolts that you can use for these. So now it's just time. You got to make sure that whenever you're connecting to a battery, that the bolts are torqued pretty good. If you have a torque wrench, it's best to go by what they have. If not, get them good and tight without stripping them. And those plastic covers are wonderful too. You can see how they make everything look nice and clean. So here we are And you can see that charger that I had put that the voltage a little bit high on it. So after running a while, that'll come down, and everything, really just fit in there nice. Charge controller is working, getting an amp out of it. And then I got lazy. I was going to put this up on the dashboard, this gauge, but just so hot I didn't want to lay on the ground and roll around down there and make it last any longer than I had to today. So saw this bolt back here that holds the back seat on. I said, boy, that'll be a perfect spot. You can just, when you walk up to the golf cart, you'll see exactly what the charge is and everything else before you even jump on it. Know it's turned on too. So I'm just, that bolt hole fit right in the bracket hole. So made it a real easy job for right now. Eventually I'll probably wire it up to the dash and add some 12-volt accessories too. But for right now I'm just going to do that. And I'm going to take a piece of nice black rubber tape just to hold that wire down into that one recess section for the seat. So that way it won't get pinched when I put the seat on. You can see it fits right down in that bolt section that's recessed. So that was a 2-second job. And it's all in, mounted. Just have to get a little, some longer bolts to go through the bottom, but otherwise fit nice, looks nice, and let's see how it works in a little while. Oh yeah, the last thing to do is I've got it pretty high with that board under it, and last thing to do is to check that it's going to clear, and it does clear the seat, so everything worked out good. I could have probably ground out some of that plastic, but I was too lazy to today. Really didn't take that long to swap it over, and I will tell you, if you're going from lead acid over, save the lead acid batteries and find a junkyard that will take them, because they're worth almost $100. I found when I did my original swap. They buy them for scrap and they weigh them. And there's where that gauge is mounted and wires running up behind the seat there. So pretty much out of the way, won't get caught on anything. But yeah, make sure you junk your old batteries, because don't just give them to a place that takes batteries for trading, because they're very valuable for lead. So now it's time to take it out for a little ride. Make sure I've got everything working right. It's going to work. And actually, first thing I noticed right off is when you step on the accelerator when you're going slow, it used to have kind of a jerky movement when it took off. It's very smooth now for some reason. I'm not sure if it's something with the controller, batteries, or something, but definitely a slight difference. Speed and everything else is about the same. And we don't go too far with it. Like this field here, we'll ride around, and like my granddaughter was here last weekend, and she drove around maybe 1,000,000 times in circles here, having fun. So, the cart doesn't go too far, and I'm sure this battery will act just like the last one on the solar. We drive it a while, we park it, it recharges. We drive it a while, park it, recharges, and pretty much for a year the battery always remained at 100%. We never go that far. But yeah, it does ride nice. Doesn't seem to go any faster or anything. Just seems to be smoother, the acceleration on it. So I'm not gonna, take it out for a 20-mile ride or anything. And actually, that big ride there didn't even go down any. But let's check the app here and just take a quick look at it. Battery's 100%, and you can see it's still the balance is still off a little. And I'm gonna take it out and let my wife take and drive it around for a while. And once it got down a couple volts, went down 1%. That's where it had started to balance really good. And I'll show you now. Besides putting 0.9 amps in, a very slow charge, but you can see the differential is 0.003 or 0.004. So just like all the Wattcycle batteries I've got, this seems to be about the same. So I was lucky to get to try this one out, and I tell you what, I think it's it's going to be the best one yet for the golf cart, and it does make it handle very smooth. And I'm going down to grab a couple of zucchinis for lunch now. And we'll just take another ride down there, and I'll just show you some. This is pretty much as far as we go. We don't go miles and miles and miles. the power gauge hardly ever moves on us, and I imagine we could run up and down the road. They say it'll go up to 70 miles, and I'm gonna kind of believe it. So I just wanted to do this video and show you how good this battery is, and I get to test it out for the long run. So we'll see how it stands up. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.